Relationship of Article 14 with other provisions of the Covenant, General Comment No. 32, 2007, of the Human Rights Committee. 58. As a set of procedural guarantees. Article 14 of the Covenant often plays an important role in the implementation of the more substantive guarantees of the Covenant that must be taken into account in the context of determining criminal charges and rights and obligations of a person in a suit at law. In procedural terms, the relationship with the right to an effective remedy provided for by Article 2, Paragraph 3 of the Covenant is relevant. In general, this provision needs to be respected whenever any guarantee of Article 14 has been violated. However, as regards the right to have one's conviction and sentence reviewed by a higher tribunal, Article 14, Paragraph 5 of the Covenant is a lex specialis in relation to Article 2, Paragraph 3 when invoking the right to access a tribunal at the appeals level. 59. In cases of trials leading to the imposition of the death penalty, scrupulous respect of the guarantees of fair trial is particularly important. The imposition of a sentence of death upon conclusion of a trial, in which the provisions of Article 14 of the Covenant have not been respected, constitutes a violation of the right to life, Article 6 of the Covenant. 60. To ill-treat persons against whom criminal charges are brought and to force them to make or sign, under duress. A confession admitting guilt violates both Article 7 of the Covenant prohibiting torture and inhuman, cruel or degrading treatment and Article 14, Paragraph 3, g, prohibiting compulsion to testify against oneself or confess guilt. 61. If someone suspected of a crime and detained on the basis of Article 9 of the Covenant is charged with an offence but not brought to trial, the prohibitions of unduly delaying trials as provided for by Articles 9, Paragraph 3, and 14. Paragraph 3, c, of the Covenant may be violated at the same time. 62. The procedural guarantees of Article 13 of the Covenant incorporate notions of due process also reflected in Article 14 and thus should be interpreted in the light of this latter provision. Insofar as domestic law entrusts a judicial body with the task of deciding about expulsions or deportations, the guarantee of equality of all persons before the courts and tribunals as enshrined in Article 14, Paragraph 1, and the principles of impartiality, fairness and equality of arms implicit in this guarantee are applicable. All relevant guarantees of Article 14, however, apply where expulsion takes the form of a penal sanction or where violations of expulsion orders are punished under criminal law. 63. The way criminal proceedings are handled may affect the exercise and enjoyment of rights and guarantees of the Covenant unrelated to Article 14. Thus, for instance, to keep pending, for several years, indictments for the criminal offence of defamation brought against a journalist for having published certain articles, in violation of Article 14, Paragraph 3, c, may leave the accused in a situation of uncertainty and intimidation and thus have a chilling effect which unduly restricts the exercise of his right to freedom of expression, Article 19 of the Covenant. Similarly, delays of criminal proceedings for several years in contravention of Article 14. Paragraph 3, c, may violate the right of a person to leave one's own country as guaranteed in Article 12, Paragraph 2 of the Covenant, if the accused has to remain in that country as long as proceedings are pending. 64. As regards the right to have access to public service on general terms of equality as provided for in Article 25, c, of the Covenant, a dismissal of judges in violation of this provision may amount to a violation of this guarantee, read in conjunction with Article 14. Paragraph 1 providing for the independence of the judiciary. 65. Procedural laws or their application that make distinctions based on any of the criteria listed in Article 2, Paragraph 1 or Article 26, or disregard the equal right of men and women, in accordance with Article 3. to the enjoyment of the guarantees set forth in Article 14 of the Covenant, not only violate the requirement of paragraph 1 of this provision that all persons shall be equal before the courts and tribunals, but may also amount to discrimination.